Hey y'all, welcome back to Alternative House channel. Today we are in Belgium visiting Thomas. He has been living in his self-built tiny house already 7 years. This tiny house actually was a big change of his whole life, and today he's gonna give us a tour and share the story.
I built this 7 years ago. It was actually designed and built for two persons and a dog. The outside is 7 meters point 2 by 2.5, and the height is typically 4 meters. Because we're very into gardening, we first installed three regular rainwater storage tanks, but they're only like 200 liters per tank. In the back, you will see like a big bag. The bag alone is 1,700s. So that was better solution than three smaller ones. And then we also built shed. We put our gas installation. So if the tiny house would be moved, it would be without the shed. It's barely heavier than the legal weight limit. So if we would move it with normal transportation method, then we have to take out like the furniture and stuff and then hope it would be under 3.5 tons, or we put it on a truck like how we initially did it. Welcome inside. So as you can see, all doors and windows are like regular door and regular windows that just we can open like this, or when 90% it's used, it's like this. And we have like on the important windows, we have the bug screen. We decided just to buy a sofa. It's a IKEA sofa because we just wanted to have it very comfortable. We tried some custom made sofas from friends or other tiny houses, but it's not the same. It's and not necessarily more expensive. This part is also the couch where you put your feet on. You can move this, and this is a drawer that can slide out. We call it the basement of the couch of this tiny house.
That's a very clever idea, but it's like not for everyday use. It's
No,
seasonal
call
stuff.
it seasonal stuff or like sleeping bags, and it's opened maybe once or twice a year. The main feature of this house is actually this simple wardrobe with three sliding doors. This hides all the clutter, all the stuff daily need, or maybe some stuff you want to hide or get rid of, junk. The electric panel is here. There's enough space to put your brooms and buckets, also a permanent spot to put in your vacuum cleaner, which is actually one of the used tools in this house because we have a dog and leaves a lot of dirt and dust. Also, you can just close the sliding doors and all of the junk and clutter is hidden out of sight.
And I love that round window. It brings such a coziness.
The round window is one of the first things that I really want in the tiny house, which is not really functional or anything, but it's like later I could be very proud of. Like it's also very unique. It adds a lot more light and also creates another function above the wardrobe, which is has more the stuff you want to show. It's a very tiny stove. I think it's the smallest stove I could find. Cubic Mini. It's a Canadian made stove. What I like about this stove, it's so tiny that it's still powerful enough to heat this house. It takes longer, but obviously it's tiny. But the wood is practically free because I can gather wood free and I have the tools to prepare it and have space to store it. So heating is practically free. And also in the summer when it's not used, then it doesn't take space at all. You can put your shoes or your bags underneath a pedestal where you can put something on it. I really like this stove because it's small enough to heat this home. And I know that a lot of wood stoves they're very powerful, but they're actually too big. So you burn a lot more wood than you need to, and they take a lot more space.
But it's not only one heating source. You have one more.
The summers get here very hot. Well, not long, but there are some days that get really hot. And also because our windows are all south face, and we have one high window that's west face, so all the afternoon sun will get from a high point. So this place gets really hot. That's why we have installed an air conditioning. And then the winter afterwards, we realized it can also be used as a heating source, which is very convenient. Wood stove takes a lot of labor to use. This is like just pressing a button. And I would recommend it for someone who still figuring out a heating source or cooling source. Air conditioning is very convenient because it also cools. It heats up the room, but you can also just put it in ventilation or filter dirty or the quality of your air. It humidifies also the air, so it's actually a very good device. And it's just there. It doesn't take any space, floor space or wall space.
What about electricity consumption? Did you feel it? Huge change when you install it?
I think it would be a big difference if I don't use the wood stove at all, but then I would have to compare with the other alternatives like a gas powered heating or more old school electric powered heating sources like infrared panels. I think they are one by one, like 1000 watts cost 1000 watts. So this would be cheaper. I think even less than half, depending on how hot it is outside or how cold it is outside. I think the biggest challenge of a tiny house of this size is the width. So internally, it's only like 2 meters, point 2 if you go from wall to wall. So we designed this table to be small enough to put two elements of the same couch on each side. So we can have like a dinner party or a board game party with 4 or even 6 persons, and just use the couch elements to as seating solution. Also, this table can extend lengthwise, almost 2 meters long. So at least we have some seating options. The TV is right here in this nook. This was actually supposed to be a custom made closet space or storage space for shoes. Now it's half for shoes, but then I realized the diagonal is the same or a bit larger than the TV, which is actually also a very good height for the television. But I really didn't like the idea having the TV on the wall. In the summer, I don't even watch that much television. So this was actually a very cheap way to keep it kind of out of sight, and it's kind of by accident it fits right in this space. Over here we have the kitchen. We wanted to have a lot of counter space, a lot of storage for spices, for tools, utensils. The stove is gas powered because I don't like induction stove plates or ceramic. Underneath is a normal oven. It's electric because I don't think there's a big difference with a gas powered oven. And then kitchen hood. I think the most important part is the place where you work the most is the dishes. We want a big window facing the garden. So when you have a lot of work to do doing the dirty dishes, you can at least stare at the work you did in the garden. Also, it brings a lot of light into the house, and we have some storage space here. This tiny house is actually the first tiny house I built. It was built really DIY. I was figuring out how to do it because I didn't have any woodworking experience besides making some quick cheap projects with wood. I actually was graphic designer, light artist, and a VJ. So when I started this tiny house, I kind of have an idea how to do it, but I really had to learn from like professionals from YouTube, watch a lot of tutorials from experienced carpenters. Like they teach you how to build a house because you really need to know all these things. Also roofing, plumbing, electrical things I had to learn very quickly. Also to save time and money, I also repurposed a lot of materials I did with those older projects. I even dismantled some older furniture I made and I repurposed it here. So that's why not all dimensions are the way I like it. There are some gaps and definitely some difference in color. There's a lot of, I think, all types of wood colorings here, like dark, light, soft, hardwood, exotic, pine. Makes it more playful, but definitely not minimal, modern, or like architectural sleek. I built this one in 3 or 4 months, but it was half finished. So a lot of stuff you see here is finished actually here. And the second most used device is this washing machine. Here is the only door besides the door that goes outside. It's a sliding door. to the very tiny bathroom. The bathroom is only 80 centimeters wide, which is just the width of the shower pan. But it actually has everything you need. Is a shower, the sink, composting toilet, and the water heating source is gas powered and is inside this closet. And all the connections is also behind this panel. So for maintenance, it's all here. It's all in this small space.
And there is something in this box from that side as well.
It's storage space, and I oriented the accessibility of this space behind this door, so you can access to toilet paper or stuff you need.
So, and after you built, you moved in, and then you thought you could build another one, or you had some client asking you to build one, or how did it
Yeah,
go?
it was never the idea to build tiny houses for other people, because as you can see, the quality or the build quality or the finishing quality of this tiny house is not, I wouldn't offer this quality as a professional. Then I think it's now 5 years later, I've built like on average 2 to 3 tiny houses per year, all custom made. I still live in this tiny house. It's very natural for me to provide solutions or provide designs that's really fitted in, not just aesthetically pleasing, but really functional. Like I still learn every day. Like I wish I've done this differently, but then I can learn from the mistake and then offer something else, or at least share the experience with new people. Not necessarily my clients, but everyone that's interested in tiny living or van life. The stairs is added on, so it's actually like a ladder, and each step is storage space. So all the small things that would be cluttered inside a bigger closet or drawer, I think it's very nice to put it here. The bed is 160 by 2, so it's a queen size bed. We have three exact the same windows on all directions, because we thought you can't have enough windows, and I could maybe sacrifice this one, so we have some headspace or storage space or a wall to lean on. But I like it. You can open any direction. There's some storage space here for sheets. All my underwear and socks are here, and then all the junk is there.
And so you were working with lights, and then 2019 you started to build first tiny house commercially,
Yeah.
and then COVID hit, exactly, right?
Yeah, it's very coincidental. Well, personally, I was kind of tired of doing light design or light art. I wanted to make something that really impacts people's lives. A tiny house is perfectly the thing I was looking for. You're actually building someone's house, in most cases, someone's dream house, and it's their everyday life. And I keep still getting messages or people saying that they are so happy. That was already motivating me to shift my career. And then just few months before COVID hit, I think I started in September. COVID hit in February. And that was the other advantage, that I started tiny houses before COVID hit, because then I would lose like 100% of my income.
How much did it cost to build it?
In 2016 or 17, before COVID, the wood prices back then was pretty darn cheap. During COVID, they were like quadrupled. It was like €5.70 per meter. Now it's stabilized, but it's at least double the price. The building cost to do it by yourself, all the new materials was around 23,000, and then you would add stuff like appliances. I think if you would build a tiny house now, it would go at least from 27 to over 35, depending on your finishing materials. So around 30K is like starting budget if you do everything yourself, but buy everything new.
All right, thanks for watching. If you want to check out Thomas' tiny houses and follow him on Instagram, I will leave link in description below. And see you the next one. Cheers.
Bye.